Wow, I look good. I look good. Get out there, everybody. Text your friends and tell them how good I look. That is a Anchorman reference, for those of you who didn't catch that. Oh, gone are the days when you would politely walk up to a stranger and say, "Excuse me, would you take a picture of us?" No need for that anymore, because we now have the self-indulgent, sometimes narcissistic selfie. Now, people take a lot of selfies per day, but you won't believe the number. It is 93 million. 93 million selfies are taken each day worldwide. And the first known appearance of the word selfie actually was in 2002 from an Australian news website, but this word didn't really catch on until about 2012. So by November 2013, selfie was appearing frequently, so much so that Oxford English Dictionary chose it its word of the year. Now, we've all taken them. Some of us who are gifted with longer arms tend to do a little better. And no, putting it on a tripod or putting it on a timer, that is cheating. That is not a selfie. But one of my friends and colleagues once told me that I had taken the worst selfie in the history of selfies, because I took a group shot with some colleagues in Brazil, and I was the only one not in the picture. But what I have recently discovered is it can be much, much worse. And that is when we have a situation where we see death by selfie. Yes, unfortunately, many photo bugs and social media influencers have met their demise because they were more focused on themselves than they were their surroundings. So in 2015, more people died from taking selfies than from shark attacks. Tourist destinations such as Mumbai, they've gone as far as designating selfie-free zones. Even the notoriously unsympathetic Russian government issued a manual on how to safely take a selfie. Our need to capture the present moment via social media has completely changed the way we experience life. And the tragic irony presents itself when the results are injury or, much worse, death. So, I come to you today. This is your man.
Ishi Hakase.
And I'm giving you a public service. And that public service goes through some disturbing stories of social media pics gone wrong, but it's done under the guise of protecting you. This is a reminder that posing with walruses or bulls or even live grenades might put you in a very regrettable situation. So let's begin. There was the selfie stick lightning rod. In 2015, an unnamed English hiker was struck by lightning while trekking through the national park in Wales. A fatal bolt was suspected to have hit the extended metal rod of a selfie stick and electrocuted the young man. Apparently, an unexpected thunderstorm came through. Helicopters attempted a rescue but had very little luck finding the man. It was unfortunately too late when his body was eventually discovered. They tried to resuscitate him to no avail. And though it has never been proven, authorities believe that the metal rod from the selfie stick had very well contributed to the accidental electrocution. The deadly walrus. A Chinese businessman named Jai tried to take a selfie with a 1.5-ton walrus at a zoo in China. You know how big a freaking walrus is? Now, apparently, the man was a big fan of this particular walrus, having previously sent photos and videos of it to his friends and family, along with the message, "So strong, so big." As the man entered the gated housing area to snap a photo, we seem to run into this as a reoccurring problem of people going into these enclosures that are meant to keep you out. But continuing on, he went into this housing area to snap a photo with the female walrus. She grabbed him from behind and dragged him into the pool. Both Jai and one of the zookeepers who had cared for the walrus since young, they were unfortunately drowned by this massive, massive toothed creature who was reportedly only trying to play and give them a hug. A surveillance video taken of the incident went viral on Chinese social media. A 17-year-old engineering student from the Philippines was swept into a deadly wave on the beach of Benguet Bay during a birthday gathering. She was part of a group of engineering students in attendance that posed for a celebratory photo op in front of a scenic windmill when the group became caught in the overpowering ocean current. Several of the party guests were injured, but unfortunately, the one young lady drowned in the wave. She was pronounced dead at the scene. According to her mother, she had been looking forward to the event for weeks and was only allowed because she needed to relax. Having grown up in an area where there is the ocean, we have a saying, and that is, never turn your back on the ocean. So please, people, pay attention. 2 Russian soldiers in the west part of Siberia were posing for a selfie with a live grenade. And what do you think is going to happen? Yes, the handheld explosive detonated unexpectedly and going off in their faces. Only the phone with the photo survived. Russia in particular has seen an alarming number of selfie-related deaths, becoming such a problem that the government launched a safety campaign urging people to use caution when taking selfies. Then there's the ultimate selfie gone wrong. A teenager, a Romanian girl, had attempted to take the selfie on top of a train in the northern part of Romania. According to her friend, 18-year-old Anna was planning to post this ultimate selfie on Facebook. Anna decided to lie down on the roof of a stationary train car, but when she reached up with one of her legs to pose, she hit an overhead live wire that shocked her with 27,000 volts of electricity. The young girl immediately burst into flames and was pronounced dead at the hospital after suffering burns over the majority of her body. You should stay away from bulls. A 32-year-old man was gored to death by a steer during the 2014 annual running with the bulls in Pamplona, Spain. When David Gonzalez Lopez left the audience protected area, once again leaving enclosures, to capture a selfie in front of 2 bulls about to collide, a third bull ran from behind and fatally pierced Gonzalez's neck and thigh with its horns. As horrified witnesses reported, he looked like a puppet spinning around in the air because he didn't fall to the ground. The festivities were promptly suspended thereafter. Gonzalez is the 16th person to be killed by a bull at the yearly Spanish ceremony. How long has this event been going on? I'm actually surprised that the number is actually as low as 16. If you've seen this before, I find it as exciting as I find it a sheer act of lunacy. But hey, whatever you need to get your adrenaline rush. A teenage boy in India shot himself in the head while posing for a selfie with his father's .32 caliber pistol. The victim, 15-year-old Ramandeep Singh had meant to tap the camera button, but accidentally set off the gun instead. According to authorities, the safety had not been switched on. Death by selfie is a disturbing and common occurrence among young people in India. The Prime Minister declared it a national problem after the country set a record for selfie-related fatalities in 2015. Okay, something else that we have to mention. Guns are not toys. Guns are not props. Guns typically don't go off by accident. You have to pull the trigger, and these triggers actually have lots of force behind them. And I know that you all have heard of this unfortunate incident of Alec Baldwin discharging a prop gun and killing one person and wounding another. 3 lives now ruined. My take on this, people, is put the guns down. Don't selfie and fly. A deadly plane crash occurred in May 2014. This was in Colorado when a pilot lost control of the airplane while posing to take a selfie. He proceeded to crash his plane into a nearby wheat field, killing both himself and another passenger upon impact. It's been said that this 29-year-old amateur pilot had been reported to have frequently engaged in this kind of behavior, including texting while manipulating an airplane. A GoPro camera was discovered in the aftermath on the morning after the accident, revealing more footage of the pilot taking mid-flight selfies at low altitude. Gosh, we have so much energy and effort encouraging people not to text and drive. We have to now extend this to don't text and fly an airplane. I thought that would be common sense, but apparently not so. A 66-year-old Japanese tourist lost his balance and fell backwards to his death down the steps of the Taj Mahal in September. According to eyewitnesses, the man had reportedly been trying to take a selfie at the royal gate of the Grand Mausoleum. Onlookers watched the injured man as he was carried off the 17th century monument by paramedics. He suffered severe head trauma from the fall. He died at the hospital, and post-mortems reported that the man actually had experienced a heart attack. A 17-year-old Russian teenager fell off of a 30-foot railway bridge in St. Petersburg while attempting to get the perfect shot. An amateur photographer had climbed up on the bridge one night in April with the goal of taking a selfie. The police surmised that she had wanted to capture the most dramatic effect, but when the young woman lost her balance, she reached for a hanging cable, which turned out to be a live wire that electrocuted her with 15,000 watts, and she plummeted to her death. A friend was waiting for her at the bottom of the bridge when the woman's body fell beside her. It is believed that she had been alive until she actually hit the ground. That is just absolutely horrific. We don't need the most dramatic effect that bad. Then there was the accidental cliff dive. A Polish couple's 2 young children watched as their parents climbed over the safety barrier and fell to their deaths while taking a selfie on a cliff in Cabo de Roca, Portugal. Don't climb over safety barriers. That's why they're there. Once they took a step backwards to angle their shot, they tumbled off the edge and into the perilous Atlantic Ocean below. Both bodies were not recovered until a day later, as dangerous weather and sea levels prevented their rescue. The traumatized children, ages 5 and 6, were put into the care of Polish diplomats after witnessing the horrifying scene. That is very, very sad. But my friends, these are cautionary tales. I share this with you for your own safety and well-being. If you want that perfect shot, use Photoshop. Just Photoshop yourself into a scene. Don't put your life in peril for likes. Remember, you matter. We want you here. So if you're struggling with mental health or depression or anxiety or addiction, reach out and talk to someone. Get the help that you need. Don't miss out on all this good stuff that we got going on, especially how good I look. All right, so